The cybersecurity landscape has undergone a dramatic shift with the emergence of powerful Linux tools that have democratized hacking, putting sophisticated cyber attack capabilities into the hands of even novice criminals and making digital defense more challenging than ever before. At the forefront of this concerning trend is Metasploit Framework, the penetration testing tool that has become a double-edged sword in the security world. Originally developed for legitimate security testing, Metasploit now serves as a one-stop shop for hackers looking to exploit vulnerabilities with minimal effort, offering an extensive database of pre-built exploits that can target everything from outdated web servers to unpatched operating systems. What makes Metasploit particularly dangerous is its modular design and user-friendly interface that allows attackers to chain together complex attacks with simple commands, turning what was once an advanced skill into something approachable for relative beginners. The tool's recent integration with AI-powered vulnerability assessment modules means it can now automatically identify weak points in target systems and recommend the most effective exploits, essentially providing a guided tour through someone else's digital infrastructure. Even more concerning is how Metasploit's payload generation capabilities have evolved. Attackers can now create malware that bypasses traditional antivirus detection with a few clicks, packaging malicious code into seemingly legitimate files that slip past security defenses undetected. The framework's extensive documentation and active community forums have created an environment where aspiring hackers can quickly climb the learning curve, finding tutorials and advice for executing attacks that would have required deep technical knowledge just a few years ago. Equally troubling is the rise of SQLmap, the automated SQL injection tool that has turned database hacking into a point-and-click operation. SQL injection remains one of the most devastating web application vulnerabilities, allowing attackers to bypass authentication, steal sensitive data, and even take complete control of back-end systems. While skilled security professionals once needed manual testing to identify and exploit these flaws, SQLmap automates the entire process with frightening efficiency. The tool can automatically detect vulnerable parameters, extract database schemas, dump sensitive information like credit card numbers or user credentials, and even establish persistent backdoors, all with minimal user input. Recent versions have incorporated machine learning algorithms that adapt attack patterns based on the target's defenses, making it increasingly difficult for traditional web application firewalls to detect and block these intrusions. What makes SQLmap especially dangerous is how it lowers the barrier to entry for what should be a complex attack vector. Security teams report seeing completely inexperienced attackers using the tool to compromise websites within hours of downloading it, often following step-by-step guides available on hacker forums. The tool's evasion techniques have grown so sophisticated that it can now bypass many next-generation security solutions by randomizing attack patterns and mimicking legitimate traffic, leaving organizations vulnerable even when they believe they've implemented proper safeguards. Network hacking has been similarly simplified by Nmap, the network scanning tool that has evolved far beyond its original purpose of simple port scanning. Modern versions of Nmap can now automatically map entire network infrastructures, identify vulnerable services, detect security misconfigurations, and even predict which exploits would be most effective against specific systems. The tool's scripting engine allows attackers to create custom attack modules that can automate everything from brute force attacks to vulnerability exploitation, while its timing and evasion features help bypass intrusion detection systems. Nmap's recent integration with vulnerability databases means it can now cross-reference discovered services with known exploits, essentially providing attackers with a prioritized to-do list of security weaknesses to target. Perhaps most concerning is how Nmap has become a foundational tool in more sophisticated attack chains. Criminals use it to conduct reconnaissance, then feed the gathered intelligence directly into other hacking tools like Metasploit for automated exploitation. The tool's widespread legitimate use by system administrators also provides cover for attackers. As Nmap traffic often blends in with normal network activity, making it difficult for security teams to distinguish between malicious scanning and routine maintenance. The emergence of Social Engineering Toolkit, or SET, has taken the human element of hacking and, well, industrialized it, automating what was once a time-consuming process of crafting convincing phishing attacks. SET provides pre-built templates for everything from credential harvesting web pages to malicious email attachments, complete with features that bypass security filters and increase open rates. The tool's integration with AI-powered natural language generation means it can now create highly personalized phishing messages at scale, complete with context-aware content that mimics legitimate communications from banks, social media platforms, or corporate IT departments. SET's website cloning capabilities are particularly dangerous. Attackers can create perfect replicas of login pages that capture credentials while evading detection, complete with SSL certificates and domain names that appear legitimate to casual inspection. The toolkit even includes features for QR code phishing, voice phishing or vishing, and other emerging attack vectors, constantly updating its arsenal to reflect the latest social engineering trends. What makes SET so effective is how it eliminates the creative burden from phishing campaigns, where attackers once needed design skills and psychological insight to craft convincing lures. They can now generate professional quality attacks with just a few menu selections, dramatically increasing both the volume and success rate of social engineering attempts. Perhaps most alarmingly, Hydra has revolutionized brute force attacks by weaponizing distributed computing and machine learning to crack credentials at unprecedented speeds. Modern versions of this password cracking tool can leverage cloud computing resources, GPU acceleration, and rainbow table attacks to break into systems that would have been considered secure just a few years ago. Hydra's adaptive algorithms learn from each attempt, optimizing attack patterns based on the target's response times and lockout policies to maximize success while minimizing detection. The tool supports hundreds of protocols and services, from SSH and RDP to web forms and API endpoints, making it a universal key for attackers looking to gain initial access to systems. Recent developments have seen Hydra integrated with password databases from major breaches, allowing attackers to launch credential stuffing attacks that combine known passwords with subtle variations, dramatically increasing success rates. The tool's distributed attack mode lets hackers coordinate password attempts across multiple machines and geographic locations, circumventing rate-limiting and IP-blocking defenses that would stop simpler brute force attempts. Perhaps most concerning is how Hydra has lowered the skill threshold for gaining unauthorized access. Where password cracking once required specialized knowledge and expensive hardware, it's now accessible to anyone with basic Linux skills and, honestly, just an internet connection. These tools collectively represent a perfect storm for cybersecurity professionals, combining accessibility, power, and sophistication in ways that make defense increasingly difficult. What makes them particularly dangerous is their legitimate origins. Each was originally developed for security testing and research purposes, meaning they're well-maintained, thoroughly documented, and constantly updated with new capabilities. This dual-use nature makes restricting access practically impossible while ensuring the tools remain effective against modern security measures. The cybersecurity community faces an ongoing challenge in defending against these weaponized tools while still maintaining their value for legitimate security work. A balancing act that grows more precarious with each new feature and capability added. As these tools continue evolving with AI integration, cloud capabilities, and automated attack chaining, they're not just making hacking easier, they're fundamentally changing the threat landscape in ways that demand equally innovative defensive strategies. The arms race between attackers wielding these powerful tools and defenders trying to protect systems shows no signs of slowing, with each advancement on one side prompting countermeasures from the other in an endless cycle that will define cybersecurity for years to come.